I request everyone, if you want to ask anything, you can ask me after the presentation is over. And if you want to take notes, you can definitely take notes. That will be very helpful because I'll be covering installation procedure as well. Okay, so I'm sharing my presentation. You can pin my window so that you can see it in full screen. So good evening everyone. On behalf of MobiTrail security team, I welcome everyone in our new cybersecurity training webinar series. Throughout the series, we will be giving webinars on various topics like Google hacking, Python programming crash course for 2 days, importance of machine learning and artificial intelligence. We'll be discussing Bobsuit tool. There will be a special lecture on domain hosting and abuse mitigation, secure coding solution, and many others. By taking this initiative and educating the general public, we are contributing to our country in the Digital India program launched by the Government of India. Cybersecurity Training Webinar Series is sponsored by MobiTrail. Founded in 2006, the company develops enterprise-level mobile and web applications. With a team of highly skilled professionals, MobiTrail is venturing into cybersecurity. Apart from providing security products, MobiTrail is also providing corporate security lectures and internship programs in the field of cybersecurity. MobiTrail security team is headed by Deepika Zindal. She is OSCP and CH certified. Myself, Swadhin Sawant, currently working as a security analyst for MobiTrail. I am CH and LPT certified. Today, I'll be giving you a short introduction to Linux. We will see what is the difference between Linux, Unix, and Windows. After understanding the basic difference, I will give you a brief orientation on Kali Linux operating system and also see how to install and get started with Kali Linux operating system. I'll be doing a lot of demo. Mostly half of our presentation will be demo. So if you want, you can take out the notes if you want to write down any tools or commands. Kali Linux operating system is a Debian-based Unix-like operating system. It is designed for digital forensics and penetration testing. It is maintained and funded by Offensive Security. Remember these words: Debian-based Unix-like operating system. Introduction to Linux. Many of those people say Linux. It's all about pronunciation. Linux is an operating system built by Linus Torvalds in 1991. Linux is a free open source operating system. Today, many companies and similar number of individuals have released their own version of OS based on the Linux kernel. Have you ever eaten an ice cream cone? You can imagine an ice cream cone. The solid base of the ice cream cone is your Linux kernel, and then you have different flavors on top of the base. So we can say Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian are different flavors of distribution of Linux. Hope this example will stick in your mind forever. We are not going in very deep over here because of time shortage. If you guys want, I can always take another webinar focused on Linux itself. If I briefly compare Linux and Windows, Linux is considered as command line interface. Linux is considered as command line interface based OS, while Windows is considered as GUI based OS, graphical user interface. There is something called as shell. Okay, anybody know? Okay, shell. So shell is a program that gives command from the keyboard and gives them to the operating system. In Windows, we have CMD or command prompt. This command prompt is the default shell of Windows, called as command shell. Similarly, in Linux, we have bash shell. One famous use of the shell can be to find your internal IP address or to ping any system over any network. We can type ipconfig in CMD to know our IP address in Windows. And similarly, we can type ifconfig in Linux to know our IP address. Don't worry, I'll be doing a demo on this at the end of the presentation. Well, before going ahead, I would like to make one statement. Linux is a replica of Unix, but does not use its code. I repeat, Linux is a replica of Unix, but it does not use its code. In my IT career, I have seen people getting confused over Linux and Unix. Let me clear this confusion today. Let us see what are the major differences between Linux and Unix. Linux source code is open source, while Unix, the source code is proprietary. Unix OS was created in 1961, while Linux OS was built in 1991. Linux is a clone of Unix. Linux default shell is bash, while Unix shell is Bourne shell. Linux threat detection and solution are very fast, while Unix users require longer wait times to get the proper bug fixing patch. Important versions of Linux are Red Hat, Fedora, Ubuntu, Debian, whereas important versions of Unix are AID and BSD. Remember what I said in the earlier slide. Kali Linux is Debian-based Unix-like operating system. Remember, in earlier slide, I explained the difference between Linux and Unix. So Debian is a Linux distribution or flavor, and hence we say Kali Linux. I also mentioned Unix-like. Since Kali is maintained and funded by offensive security, even though being open source, the proprietary rights belongs with offensive security. Hence we say it's Unix-like Linux operating system. Kali OS is free for all, and it has over 600 tools for penetration testing and security analysis. Kali follows an open source model, and all of its code is available on Git and allowed for tweaking. Kali also has multi-language support that allows users to operate in the native language. Kali Linux is just a tool. It is not illegal to install any operating system which is available for download and is properly licensed. But having said that, it is illegal when you use a tool for hacking and not when you install it for useful purposes like learning or teaching or using it in a way to fortify your software or your network. You can explore the tools provided by Kali from the given website. You can simply visit the site and browse through them to see what Kali has to offer. I'll be going through all the websites which are provided by the Kali and also the download pages. We can afterwards note down the URLs if you want. In this slide, you can see there are on the right hand side corner, there is an offensive security which is funding our Kali OS. On the left hand side, there is a download page from where you can download the Kali images. So now that you have understood what Kali is, let us quickly go through installation process. Okay, these are the two sites which you guys will be using to download Kali OS. Kali downloads page offers three variety of images that you can use to install Kali. First is installer image, second is net installer, and third is live image. If you guys are interested in using Kali, please pay attention in this particular slide because most of the people cannot install Kali properly and then they blame that Kali is not working. So please pay attention. If you want to note, you can note it down. So as I said, Kali offers three variety of images that you can use to install Kali. First is installer image, second is net installer, and third is live image. You can simply do a direct download or use a torrent link to download. If you can see the bottom picture, there is a torrent link as well. That is much faster than downloading an entire image of 3 to 4 GB. Okay. We would recommend you to use the installer image to install Kali as it works in offline mode as well as it has all the default packages for offline installation. But this image cannot be used to boot a live system. To boot a live system, you can go ahead and download the live image. The only issue that we found in live image is that we cannot store our work in live environment. Every single time you boot, into live image, the OS resets itself. As we have discussed, we have 3 download options for Kali Linux OS. Now let us explore the different ways of installing Kali. There are 5 different ways one can install Kali Linux. The first one and the most basic one will be the single boot installation. Then there is live boot, dual boot, mini OS install. Now all these steps you need to download Kali Linux installer image and use a USB or CD to boot and start the installation process. Dual boot, remember, it requires more RAM and space. So for those who are working on a low configuration laptop or a computer, can always go for a single boot installation. There is another option provided by the Kali is mini OS install. It will install a lighter version of Kali. You won't get all the 600 tools, you will get half of them. Okay. So mini OS installation type of installation is preferred on IoT device like Raspberry Pi. I hope you know Raspberry Pi. It is used for IoT, Internet of Things. The best option we feel is running Kali OS on virtual machines. For installing Kali on virtual machines, we have 2 ways. Firstly, you can use ready-made virtual images of Kali, which you can find on the offensive security website, the upper right, or you can use the installer image. Let me show you right now with a demo of how you can install an installer image into a virtual machine. I'll be using VMware Pro. Okay. The first step I'll be doing is click on create a new virtual machine. There are 2 options which you get. The first is typical, which is recommended, and second is custom advanced. When offensive security provides you virtual images to run on virtual machines, they always go with custom based images. But over here, we are going to use typical, which is a recommended option. If you have downloaded your installer image, which is around 3.7 GB, you can straightforward go and browse to that ISO. As you can see, I have downloaded Kali Linux installer image. It's an ISO file. Don't worry if you get this error, could not detect which operating system is in the disk image. Click on next. Click on Linux. We are using Linux, Kali Linux. And version is Debian 10 64-bit. I'm using 64-bit. Okay. There are multiple versions available. You can go ahead and click on Debian 10.x 64-bit. Click on next. Give your machine a name. I'll give it Kali. And you can choose a location, whichever location you want. Click on next. Recommended size for Debian 10 is 20 GB, they have said. So we will go with 20 GB. And we'll always split virtual disk into multiple files. We will never ever store virtual disk as a single file. The reason is that if suppose you want to transfer from one machine to another machine, the second step will help you a lot. Okay, click on next. Most of the people make mistake of clicking finish. Well, I suggest go and click on customize hardware and change your network adapter to bridge. If you click on net and if you click finish, there is a bug in Kali OS which won't allow you to go back on bridge connection. Most of the people are facing problems over here. So I'll go for bridge, replicate physical network connection state, and printer. I don't need printer, so I'll remove printer. Okay, and I'll say close. You can see my network adapter has changed to bridge, and I'll click on finish. Now since I have already installed Kali, I won't click on finish, but you guys can go ahead and click on finish after doing the changes in customized hardware section. So this was all about installing an installer image in your virtual machine. Okay. Coming back to our presentation. Now that you have successfully installed Kali OS, there are some preliminary steps that one must perform for getting the best out of Kali. First and foremost step is to update the operating system. Once we update and upgrade our system, we can then choose to start or stop the services. The services like Apache Server, SSH, and many other. We can then check the Kali tools arsenal and install or uninstall tools as per our requirements. And since Kali is open source, all tools in Kali are free. Let me show you all of this practically. Again, I'll go back to my virtual machine and we'll see how to go ahead. Okay. As you can see, my Kali setup, memory is 2 GB, processor I'm using 1. It is recommended to use memory processor as 2. Hard disk is 20 GB. Network adapter I'm using bridge. And you can see there is no printer. I don't need printer, so I'm not using printer. If you have the need, you can use it. So I'll power on this virtual machine. If at all you cannot see your mouse, if it gets stuck inside, press Control Alt and yep, you get your mouse back. So let's assume that you have freshly installed a Kali image. Now you have to perform some preliminary steps. Okay, so the username which I have created is my name itself. Now this is the latest version of Kali which I'm using. It was released last month. Admit. Control Alt. U. Exclusive mode. Okay, now you can get a full scale view of Kali. So this is what you have when you install Kali. This is the terminal, the bash shell which I was saying. In Windows we have CMD and in Kali we have bash shell. Notice the sign, $sign. This suggests that I am not the admin. Okay. The first step is I want to check my IP address, whether I'm connected or not. As you can see, I'm having some problem over here, correct? Let's see what I get if I perform ipconfig, command not found. ipconfig is for Windows. Over here it is ifconfig, command not found. Is it? If config is not for Linux? No. This error is coming because I am performing this command on behalf of a user and not the admin. So this is a precautionary step taken by the Kali so that you don't mess up. So I'll do sudo su. I'll give the rights of admin to Swadhin, password, and you see the $sign got converted to hash. I clear the screen. ipconfig. Oops, wrong command. Ifconfig. And you see I'm not getting my IP address. Well, give me a sec. I'll connect my Ethernet cable. I'll do clear. And as you can see, on the top corner, the connection is established. Ifconfig, and I get my IP address 192.168.1.197. Okay, cool. What's next? What should I do? Okay, update and upgrade Kali. So for that, I'll do apt get update. Now this command was used for older version of Kali. The commands have been changed. You can use apt update, and you can press Ctrl C to end any command. If you want to end, if you think that you're doing wrong, just press Ctrl C. Okay. After completing apt update, you can go for apt upgrade. Ctrl C. Now suppose I want to use one command for update and upgrade. I can do this by apt update and apt upgrade. Yes. Okay. If you guys want to note down the steps, you can note down the steps. I'll press enter and my update will start. Just wait for a few minutes. I wanted to show that update screen. Why did I use that -y? Just give it 2 minutes for the screen. More commands I'm gonna tell you, more tools we are gonna use. So keep your notes ready. So now Kali has finished his updating part, and now it is going for upgrading. Now see over here, it asks this question after this operation. Where is that question? I didn't came. Over here there is a question that do you want to continue, and for that reason I had used this -y parameter. Okay, I'll stop this because it's going to take a lot of time. So this is the first step you have to perform when you install Kali operating system. Control C. I'll clear the screen by writing clear. Okay, what's next? We need to start the services which we want. Let's suppose I need to share a file in a network, in my local network. So for that I need to start the service of my server, so that I can put that file in the server and I can share it with someone else in the network. Okay, this is the second step which you might perform when you install Kali. So for that, I'll do service Apache 2 start APACHE2 start. Enter. Now this will start my Apache server. Apache server comes inbuilt in Kali. Yeah, it comes inbuilt. I'll check the status of the service, whether it is running or not, successfully running or not. Apache 2 status. And here you can see it's active and it is running. Okay. I'll press Q to enter, exit. Okay, so now my server is running. Clear. Exit. If I type exit, it will exit me from this terminal. No, it will exit me from that admin user. Press exit again. I'll go out. This is the file system and this is the home. In Kali, we have root. Root is defined as /, and inside this root we have a lot of files, configuration files, tools that you install go into this configuration files. So what I want to do is I want to store a file in my server. So for that, I'll go into where www. You can see the path over here, HTML. When you install Kali, fresh installation will consist of this two HTML files. You'll have to delete those files. Delete. Okay, I cannot delete this file because I am not the root user, correct? So I'll just switch the user. I'll enter the root user password. I'll quickly show you how the terminal looks. See, hash. Okay, so I'm now the root user. We'll go to file system, where www html, and I think now we should be able to delete it. Okay, good. Now I want to create one file, so I'll go to text editor and I'll say hello world, control S. I'll save it in the desktop right now and I'll save it as hello.txt. It is saved. I'll minimize this. I'll go to home. I don't need to go to home. You can see hello.txt. I'll copy and I'll paste over here. This is the path of my server. Okay, so I'll now close this. I'll once again see what is my IP address. Fconfig 1.197. Okay, I'll press Ctrl Alt so that I come out of this view, and then I go to my browser. Over here, I type the IP address 192.168.1. What was it? 197. 197. And here you see my Linux operating system is sharing a file with Windows operating system. Now it can be done over the entire network. Okay, so I'll just simply click on it. Ta-da! It is not execute. You can download this file also, but I don't want to do it right now. Okay, let's go back over here again. Clear. What else do you want to see? Okay, so let's suppose I want to open a web browser. Let's say Firefox. In Kali, we don't have to go away from the terminal. In terminal, I'll just type Firefox and it will open a Firefox web browser to me. Ta-da! So when you open a Firefox for the first time in Kali Linux operating system, this is the home page that you get. Okay. So you can go on tools and you can see all the tools that are available in Kali Linux operating system. Okay. If it is not working, okay, yeah, that reminds me, I need to show you something. Let's say I want to perform one more action on this terminal. I'll simply go and split the screen. Okay, so here I can say I will need to install some tool. Which tool I'll install? Okay, and I need to install DNS map. Okay, so I'll say apt install DNS map. That's it. It's so simple. I will start installing DNS map for me. It's quick, it's fast, and it's very easy. Now let's say I need to remove that tool. Okay, I'll do apt remove DNS map. It will ask for the permission, yes, and it will remove that tool. Clear. Let's say a DNS map. See, it's not found. It has removed it. Okay. Before we explore more, let's go to our presentation, and there is one last slide and then we'll be doing all the practicals. Okay. So far you have seen the difference between Linux and Unix. You have understood why Kali is called as Debian derived Linux. Okay. Did I say it right? No. It should be Debian derived Unix. It is not Debian derived Linux. Okay. Remember this, Debian derived Unix. We have also seen how to install Kali and what are the first steps one must perform on installing Kali. Now let us spend some good amount of time exploring some tools which are provided by Kali. Kali OS is maintained and funded by Offensive Security. We will explore the tools menu. We will also we have actually found our local IP address. We didn't found on Windows, right? We'll do the step on Windows also. Then we'll explore some network scanning tool called as Nmap and its counterpart ZenMap, a directory listing tool called as DRB-DIRB, and SQL map for performing SQL injection. So without wasting any more time, let's dig into Kali and explore some noteworthy and popular tools found in Kali. Okay. Okay, before we proceed ahead, you guys have to give attendance and also have to submit a feedback form. So my colleague will be sharing feedback form in the chat section of the meet. Okay, I need to show you the CMD, right? Command prompt. Over here I'll type ipconfig and you'll get me the IP addresses. And what IP address I'm using is, I'm using this. Okay. Exit. Let's go back to our virtual machine. I'll end this session. I'll say Control C. Oops. View exclusive mode. Enter exclusive mode. So clear. Exit. Exit. Click on this icon on the top left corner, and here you can see the tools. They have been categorized as information gathering, then again they are subcategorized, and these are the tools that you get for free. String3 is a tool which is used to perform denial of service DOS attack. You can bring down the entire local network down. You can perform wireless attack by using Kali. These are the tools that are inbuilt. You can perform Bluetooth attacks as well. Okay. Kali is also used for forensics. You can use PDF forensic tools to check out if anybody has signed the PDF. You can use imagining tools. Kali also provides you with reporting tools. If you want to prepare a corporate report, you can use these tools. Okay. So let's go back to the terminal, our favorite terminal. We'll start with our first tool, that is ping. Okay. Look at the error. It says ping usage error, destination address required. So I'll say ping www.mobitrail.com. When I enter this, it will keep on pinging. By default, it will ping 1,000 times. Okay. So there is one more thing I can do is ping -c. Let's say I need to ping 4 times www.mobitrail.com, and it will ping 4 times. We use ping to detect whether that system is running or not, whether that website is running or not. Okay, this is the basic usage of ping. By default in Windows, ping has 4 packets. In Kali Linux, there are 1,000 packets are sent. Clear? Okay. Now we want to scan a network. We'll go for nmap tool. Now suppose I don't know what command to type, what parameters to use. I'll take help parameter. I use help parameter. I'll press enter, and you see it gives me what parameters I can use with the tool. Nmap. So it says usage, nmap, scan type, option, target specification. These options, you can pick any one from this. So let's perform okay, see, by default they have given nmap va. Nmap va. Okay. So V stands for, let's see what V stands for. V stands for verbosity. Where is V? Can you find V? Okay, verbosity. What is verbosity? Verbosity will tell you, it will show you what that tool is doing. It won't give you a blank screen. Whenever the tool is performing something, it will show you, okay, I'm performing this and this is the estimated time left for me to complete. What is A? A is for enable OS detection, version detection, script scanning, trace route, almost everything. Okay, so I'll perform nmap. Just I'll clear the screen. Nmap VV. I'll increase the verbosity level for that, and I'll say A, and then I'll give the specific target name. So I'll perform it on one of the training institutes. .nettechindia.com. Okay, I'll press enter, and see the nmap has started running, and it has discovered the open ports. Now this open ports, you should never ever have so many open ports. This is a big vulnerability in Nettech India. We have reported those vulnerabilities to them, and they are patching it right now as we speak. We also got the IP address of Nettech India. Okay. Now, if you are into cybersecurity, you should know what port number is for which service. 80 is HTTP, 443 is HTTPS, and so on. Vertically. Okay, I'll just Control C, exit over here. Okay, so simultaneously I can use 2 spaces to perform attacks. Let's say I want to perform over here ping C4 www.nettechindia.com. I'll enter over here, and similarly over here I'll perform nmap, let's say SV VV. What is SV? Correct, I need to search for SV. I'll enter nmap, I'll see what is SV. Probe open ports to determine service and version. So let's say I'm new into cybersecurity and I don't know each and every port. Okay, so I can use this SV to check what are the service that is running on that particular port. Now this nmap tool is very important whenever you're using Kali in cybersecurity, especially. This tool is heaven. It will take you a long way. Nmap VV, I'll increase the verbosity level. SV, I'll give the name of the target, nettechindia.com. You can increase the speed of the tool by giving parameter as t thread. You can go as low as 1 to as high as 5. My favorite one is 4. Okay, so I'll be running this command over here. I'll keep this running over here. Come back to the left hand side. Now let's say I need to perform directory traversal on directory listing. I need to check what are the files, subdomains, etc., etc. So for that I have a tool. Kali has a tool called as dirb. DIRB. Look at this usage. They have given how you can use it, and they have also given you an example. So learning from tools is very easy when you're operating on Kali. It's not difficult at all. You should know simple how to read. That's it. By the way, happy Teachers Day for everyone. Happy Teachers Day. Okay, so Nmap is not okay. I'm not satisfied with this information. I need more information. What will I do? Will I go on Google? Yes, preferably I will go on Google. But again, there is one option of checking the manuals. Whenever you buy a product, you get a manual. Likewise, all the tools in Kali have a manual. So to use manual, I'll do man space name of the tool Nmap. So that opens manual. Okay. So the description is given. Nmap is an open source tool for network exploration, security auditing, blah blah blah. And they have given how it will. Now see over here. After running AT4, and this is the target. This is how you get the report. This is the port. This is the service they are using, SSH service. Okay, this is LDAP service, and many other things. So this manual will give you a lot of details about the tool. Okay, I'll press Q. I don't want to waste a lot of time over here. You guys can install and check out. Okay, man Nmap. Okay, fine, clear. Okay, what I'll end this. Control C, clear. I'll run DRB. So the usage says that it's DRB URL, direct URL. Okay, simple test. We'll perform simple test. DRB space https www.nettechindia.com, and see it is testing for directories which are there in the website. Coming back to the right hand side, let the DRB run. There is one important tool I need to tell you is SQL map. This tool is written in Python, and you can use this to perform SQL injection. I'll give you a short overview on SQL injection because I will be performing SQL injection right now in front of you on live sites, and we will try to check out the database. Okay, this is a bonus practical for you guys for attending this webinar Saturday evening on occasion of Teachers Day. Okay, so SQL injection will remove all the database, table name, everything from that website. Okay, as you can see, this Kali DRB tool has given us the admin page. Let's check. Okay, before going on SQL map, let's check. So I'll run Firefox. Oops, spelling mistake. Firefox. Am I right? Yep, I'm right. We have 10 minutes left, guys. Don't worry. So what is it? It's nettechindia/admin. Okay. So we have www.nettechindia.com/admin. Is it? Is this site so vulnerable? Am I going to get admin paneled? Okay, till that time, what I'll do is we need to search for sites which are, oh, okay, it's loading. No, it's not loading. Okay, so I need to search for sites which are vulnerable to SQL injection. For that, I'll do php dot id question mark is equal to 1. Okay, when you enter this command to Google, the next session will be on Google hacking, wherein I'll be telling you details about how to search for vulnerable sites, how to go on performing Google hacking, etc., etc. So please, next weekend, do attend a session. Okay, let's pick one of the sites. Shrima Mahila Samiti. This is the site which I'll be testing for you guys. Now, if I want to check if there is a possibility of SQL injection, I'll just insert apostrophe and press enter. And as you can see, we have an error. So what is the error? You have an error. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to MySQL server, blah, 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 blah. I don't have time to explain you each and every detail. So I'm extremely sorry for this. What happened with index? What happened with this /admin? Do we have admin? Hey, there we go. We have admin portal of NetTech India. This is a vulnerability. A hacker can get insight if he has access to contact number and password. Now this can be obtained by performing social engineering. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry, NetTech India. Let's go and see this. I'll copy this, Control C. I'll go back to the terminal, and you can see. Okay, I'll just end over here. I don't want you guys to hack NetTech India. Exit. I'll open a new terminal over here for you guys. SQL map. Okay. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna use some parameters. SQL map -u. Sorry guys, time is running, so I'll just type in the parameters for your demonstration. And to paste, do not press Ctrl C or Ctrl V. Press Ctrl Shift C or Ctrl Shift V. What happens if I press Ctrl C? It ends. Okay, remember that. Don't make this mistake. I'll have to type again here. Shit. Ctrl U, Ctrl Shift V, and then I'll press --dbs, enter. I'm running SQL map, and then it is saying that you have not declared cookie, blah blah blah. I'll say yes, enter. The target ID might be injectable, might be vulnerable to cross-site scripting attacks. Yes, yes. So this SQL map will automate the SQL injection for us. Okay. Okay, it will take a lot of time, but you can see that it is already saying that might be injectable and might be vulnerable to cross-site scripting attacks. It looks like backend database is MySQL. Okay, I'll just end the connection over here. Let's queue it. Exit. There is one more site I tested just before this. Is this site, I guess, with the yoga. Is it vulnerable? Let's see if it is vulnerable. I don't know if you guys can see. It's very faint. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to MySQL server version. Blah 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 blah. So even this site is vulnerable. So I'll take this site. Now I didn't perform SQL injection on the previous site because I didn't have the permission. For this site, particular site, I do have the permission, so I can go and perform the SQL injection. This is the beauty of Kali Linux. You don't get in Windows. In Windows, let me just type this SQL map dash u space. I'll go dbs. It will run. Yeah. So I was saying that this is the beauty of Kali, and not you can do this in Windows also. The problem in Windows is that you have to individually download the tools, and because of that, what will happen is, this tool is injecting the parameter. It's automating my task. Okay, so this will increase the space, reduce the space in your Windows. And Kali is already giving you 600 tools by default. Use it. Space का कोई झंझट नहीं, nothing. Okay, it will keep on running in the background. We have 5 minutes left for our presentation to end. I won't be going ahead with this. I'm sorry, guys. Control Alt. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Unmute yourself and go ahead. That's it from my side for today. Guys, you can unmute yourself and you can ask me the questions if you have anything related to copy. Okay. Please fill this form for the attendance.